does this mean, this decision, Mark, regarding his compensation from Chelsea?
Well, that's the kind of the wrinkle in the deal so far. So basically, where we're at the moment is that Pochettino, I've been told, that other people have reported as well, he's agreed to take the job. But right now, it's not a signed, done deal, because there's still an element of compensation to come from Chelsea. Now, it could be as much as £10 million, $30 million. So that's because he left in the summer by mutual consent with a year left on his contract. Now, Chelsea were happy for him to leave, and he was happy to leave. But still, he was under contract. Now, there is a suggestion that I've been told that Chelsea were expecting compensation had he moved to a fellow top six Premier League club. Now, that won't apply to the US, but Pochettino is still owed some money as part of his package from Chelsea. Now, I don't expect that to be a massive hurdle to overcome, but it's still an issue that has to be addressed. So between now and, I guess, maybe a week, 10 days, I guess the US Federation will be trying to negotiate a way for Pochettino to, get out of that situation. I think Chelsea will move it along fairly quickly, and then he can take the job. Because from Chelsea's perspective, it's a good move for them as well, because he's not going to another club where he could potentially embarrass Chelsea. So he's off the club scene, he's going to an international team, different continent. It's great for Chelsea. He's out of sight, out of mind. So I think it suits all parties to get it wrapped up fairly quickly. But that is the one glitch right now where it means the deal hasn't been done. But I think the US play Canada in early September. I would expect this to be done well up by then, before Poch takes charge of his first game against Canada, I think, in Kansas City.
Mark, this will be 2026 and done, I imagine. Yeah? This isn't going to be a long-term thing.
Well, it depends how much pressure is under, as Stevie says. I mean, it depends how far he goes in the World Cup. Listen.
Don't start.
The thing is, with the US,
I've got it down. He's got a big cigar going. Yeah.
If he does well, I mean, the US. One thing that appeals to Pochettino and the people that are close to him, if he does well, the US sporting landscape is built around successful people, winners. And if he has an element of success, I can't quantify what success would be for the US. Jeff would have a better idea. But I guess, again, if the US gets the quarterfinals in 2026, that would be successful. He may think that it's such an enjoyable ride, he stays on. Because, as I said earlier on, he's been at Chelsea and it's not been great. He's been at PSG. I don't know where Pochettino would go in the club game right now, because I don't think he would go to Bayern Munich, for instance. He's ruled out Barcelona many times because of his connections with Espanyol. So I'm not quite sure which avenues are open to him in the club game. So the international game might be his best route. So who knows? I mean, listen, it's a great job for 2 years. And if he does well, I could see him staying on, because you get momentum and the possibility of taking the US to different levels. Somebody at some point is going to turn the US into a real force in the world game. It may be Pochettino, it may be somebody else. But I think that possibility is what appeals to him as well. So I think you're right. I think it's more likely than not that he would return to the club game in 2 years' time. But there has to be a job for him. And if there's no job for him, as he's shown now, he's willing to take a bold move to take the international game back seriously. So who knows?
Final point on this, Jeff, and to Mark's point, how do you quantify success for the US under Pochettino?
Well, for me, it would be, reaching the quarterfinals. I mean, I think that would be the minimum. The U.S. has reached the round of 16 plenty of times in previous World Cups, but they haven't really been able to get past that point, save for 2002 when they reached the quarterfinals. I think a lot of fans are going to be clamoring for a semifinal showing. I mean, this is a tournament that's being held on home soil. I think another possible sticking point for Pochettino is he doesn't have a ton of time to really implement his system. He is from the Bielsa school, so he's going to have to really spend some time on the training ground with his players in terms of how he wants his team to press, when, how he wants his team to play. But there's only about, I'd say, 9 international windows that he's going to have to work with between now and the World Cup. So time is going to be of the essence, but fans aren't going to care about that. I mean, they're going to want to see success right away, and I think their expectations are a quarterfinal showing at minimum.